the African continent, President Cyril Ramaphosa has outlined key focus areas for our presidency. 1, strengthening disaster resilience to mitigate the impact of climate-induced natural disasters. 2, ensuring debt sustainability for low-income countries to enable investment in infrastructure, healthcare, and education. 4, mobilizing finance for a just energy transition, including increasing climate finance flows to developing nations. Harnessing critical minerals for inclusive growth and development, ensuring that resource-rich countries benefit from their own natural endowments. This conference aims at achieving, in the main, 4 objectives. 1, it's a platform to facilitate foreign direct investment into South Africa. 2, we want to see increase in trade levels between South Africa and France, thus expanding access for South African products. 3, identify strategic equity partners to support key projects. 4, strengthening public-private partnerships to drive economic growth and transformation. By focusing on sectors like renewable energy, infrastructure, agriculture, tourism, and ICT, we are creating opportunities to collaborate that align with both our national development plans and the broader goals for the G20. Ladies and gentlemen, as Deputy President Mashatile and President Ramaphosa have articulated, South Africa's path forward is one of partnership, of innovation, and shared growth. We have today to extend our hand in partnership to deepen what is already strong and to build what remains possible. Let us seize this moment to forge collaborations that will stand the test of time, deliver value for our generations, and reflect our shared belief in a better future for all. To this score, no one should be left behind. Merci beaucoup, ngiyabonga. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, Ambassador. I'm sure we share the thanks to the Ambassador. We would now like to hear from our French partners. I would like to invite sur la plateforme Monsieur Labonnet. He is the CEO of Africa Global Logistics, but also the chairman of MEDEF. Merci.
Sonia, I'm the chairman of Comité Afrique of MEDEF International. Pardon, Patrick. Your Excellency, the Deputy President Paul Mashatile, Honorable Minister and Deputy Ministers, Monsieur le Ministre, Your Excellency, Ambassadeur Natim Tétois, Monsieur l'Ambassadeur de France David Martinon, dear friends, captains of industry, bienvenue à Paris. Welcome in Paris to open the main event of the South Africa Investment Week. As you see, in this fully packed venue, the French private sector has answered strongly and warmly to your call to meet with you and your delegation today. We have gathered more than 100 of representatives of French companies and some Malgache companies. Your Excellency, we thank you for having chosen France to all the South Africa investment this very week. France and your country share a long-standing relationship which is based on mutual respect, cooperation and shared ambitions in all fields of economy, such as industry, energy, transport, water and sanitation, and sustainable development, among others. As a testimony of it, more than 480 French companies and their local branches are in South Africa. They represent more than 65,000 direct employment, and they gather more than 3 billion foreign direct investment. As you can see from the large attendance today, we are ready to many more partnerships with your country and with the South African companies. MEDEF is the largest French business confederation, representing over 80% of the French companies, 2,100 companies of all sizes, operating across all sectors and employing more than 10 million employees. At MEDEF International, we believe in cooperation, in joint venture, and in private-public partnership that create value economically, socially, and environmentally for our countries. For turning this South Africa Investment Week into a success, the whole Team France joined forces with MEDEF to bring executives across all sectors, from leading international firms to small and medium companies, because we believe that small and medium companies are the ground of a sustainable growth. Both firms already established in South Africa and potential newcomers. I would like to thank the French South Africa Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I would like to thank Sian, BPI France, Business France, the French Foreign Trade Advisors for the great team they work together with us in close relationship with the South Africa Embassy in Paris, IDC, and Brown South Africa. I want to salute and pay tribute to my brother, Ambassador Nati, for his energy and commitment, and the tremendous work he has achieved with his team. You can count on us to strive to foster the incredible dynamic. Our ambition is to strengthen exchanges with your government. With your government and the private businesses to build new partnership in clearly identified priority sectors. Infrastructure. French companies are among global leaders in the sector in terms of investment capacities as well as expertise and technology. Today, we will discuss opportunity in energy, in transport and logistics, in water and sanitation, and many more. For instance, Africa Global Logistics, of which I am the CEO, is very active in the logistic and maritime business. Graham, who is our CEO, will attend the panel later, and he will explain which investment we intend to do in ports and railway sectors, because we clearly see your country as a gateway for Africa. Industry, we will also discuss how we can further collaborate on supporting the strengthening and growing of local value chain in the industrial sector, in which French companies are investing, from automotive to railroad to pharmaceutical, agro-processing and tourism. I believe the partnership between Alstom and your country in Gibela is a great example of what a French company can deliver. Finance, we believe that for further partnerships, the financial sector will be key in providing capital to concretize all our projects. Training and human capital. French companies are committed to invest into training and will fully keep playing their role in providing high skills and sustainable jobs to South Africa professionals. Entertainment, which is a strategic sector with high potential. and we should pay tribute to the great job which is carried out by Canal Plus Africa, led by David Mignot, and Multi-Choice. They are creating a great African champion that will be able to compete with the African major players. Congrats, David. In troublesome times, where competition between nations is fiercer than ever, we believe South Africa and France have a great deal to play together. The solid relationship between our two countries presents itself as an anchor point and a strong signal testifying to the will to diversify partnerships. Finally, allow me to address to the many South African business leaders who are here today. You came in number, representing all sectors of the economy. You are welcome in Paris, and we are looking forward to exchanging, identify common interests and define joint targets. I want to address a special thanks to the companies that participated to this week Choose France Summit. And I would pay also a special tribute to Ipsen. I learned they are the first African taxpayer in France. Thank you for your support. Your Excellency, allow me to stop there as we are looking forward to hear your vision for South Africa economic development and the role that the private sector, South African and French, can play in supporting it. Thank you very much, and vive le partenariat entre l'Afrique du Sud et la France.
Un grand merci, Monsieur Le Bonnet. Maintenant, we will also hear from the Deputy for Foreign Relations of France. He is Monsieur Laurent Saint-Martin. Thank you for being with us this morning, Monsieur le Ministre. Also acknowledging David Martinon, who is in the room, the French ambassador to South Africa. Thank you for all your support and everything that you do. So, Ministre Laurent Saint-Martin, please welcome to the stage. Bienvenue.
Your Excellencies, Deputy President, Honorable Paul Mashatile, dear ministers, dear ambassadors, leaders of business community, ladies and gentlemen, bonjour, good morning, Sani Bonani. It is my privilege to open this Reading Business Forum alongside His Excellency Paul Mashatile, whom I would like to thank for his initiative. This forum takes place just a few months after the business forum organized by the Team France Export in Johannesburg in October 2024. This clearly shows our shared interest in strengthening the economic ties between our two nations. I would also like to thank all the partners who made this conference possible, starting with the South African Embassy in France. Mr. Ambassador, thank you very much, Mr. Nati Mtitoa. But also, of course, the French ambassador in South Africa, dear David Martinon, also the MEDEF International, the French South African Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Business France, BPI, Le Sion, the Foreign Trade Advisor to France in South Africa, Mrs. President, the French Foreign Affairs Ministry, of course, and I would like also to thank all the sponsors that make this event possible. It's very important, very powerful, to strengthen our ties between our both countries. Really appreciate the anthem entering the room. Just remind me during the Rugby World Cup that my 5-year-old son told me my favorite anthem is the South African one. The most beautiful one, he said. Deputy President, let me start by saying that we are very thankful that you've chosen Paris as a priority destination of your roadshow. Roadshow organized a few days after the France-South Africa political dialogue between Minister Jean-Noël Barrot and Minister Ronald Lamola. Indeed, our bilateral relationship is strong and mutually beneficial. France was the first country visited at that time by Nelson Mandela following the liberation in 1990, and President Mitterrand was the first head of state hosted after the election in 1994. Nowadays, our presidents work closely together to tackle global challenges, including climate change, regional security in Africa, poverty alleviation, and economic growth through open and fair trade and investment policies. In these times of global uncertainties, fueled by the temptation of unilateralism, we fully support South Africa's pledge to foster solidarity, sustainability, and equality as its priority for its presidency for the G20. The first message that I would like to share is that we are delighted to see the growing interest of South African companies in France. And despite these global uncertainties, the French economy grew by 1.1% in 2024, which is higher than the European average. And with 20 billion euro on new investment announced by foreign companies at the Choose France Summit, it was on Monday, France has been the most attractive destination for foreign investors in Europe for 6 consecutive years. Last February, we were very excited also to announce 109 billion euro of investment for artificial intelligence. And moreover, France is the best gateway to the European market, a business-friendly integrated market with more than 450 million people, with great infrastructure, free movement of good people and capital. Several South African companies are taking part in this dynamic. Sibanye-Stillwater, for example, global mining leader, now in Sandouville, Normandy. Also in Normandy, Aspen Pharma acquired a production line in 2014 and has since invested over 100 million euro in developing its business and growing its workforce. Could also mention the South African consultancy firm SIBA, which has opened an office in Reims in 2022, for example. Secondly, I am pleased to see that French foreign direct investment in South Africa are equally significant. South Africa is, in many respects, our leading economic partner in sub-Saharan Africa. For the past 2 years, our bilateral trade has reached above 3 billion euros per year and is among the most diversified on the continent. South Africa is by far the leading country for French companies in sub-Saharan Africa, with nearly 480 of them established and more than 65,000 jobs created. In line with the South African government requirements, our companies have invested extensively in South Africa economic transformation. In 2023, France foreign direct investment stock in South Africa reached 3.2 billion euros across a variety of sectors, always with the highest social and environmental standards of compliance, respect for local content, training, and skill transfer. This, I believe, is what gives French companies this strength. Some of these companies are here with us today, and I would like to thank them for the work. I can only encourage you to maintain this positive dialogue and this level of excellence in your activities. Big investments are currently underway in various sectors, such as energy with EDF, Total Energy, ENGIE, who are playing a key role in bringing renewable energy in South Africa, and transport through, for example, the emblematic cooperation on the GO train and the partnership between French operators and South Africa leading state-owned companies, Transnet and Preza. These examples also extend to the water supply, to tourism, to multimedia sectors. We now hope to take our partnership in these fields further as new opportunities are growing up. All these projects need a clear, transparent, and predictable business environment to successfully roll out. South African government determination to advance reforms is a key support. We welcome recent developments such as the reform of the visa policy to facilitate the implementation of foreign actors in the country. And the third message I would like to share is that France, together with the European Union, is nowadays a reliable partner in which South Africa can count. We think that trade is key. We also think that trade wars are not a solution. They are counterproductive and harmful for everyone. I want to reassure our South African partners that France and the EU will remain reliable partners. The European Union-South Africa Summit, the 13th of March in Cape Town, proved once again this reliability, with a promise of 4.7 billion euros of European investment in South Africa over the next few years. The G20 Trade and Investment Ministerial meeting scheduled for October 10th in Port Elizabeth will, I hope, be an opportunity to discuss ways to continue deepening trade architecture between South Africa and the EU as well. Dear Deputy President, dear Ministers, dear members of the French and South African business communities, South Africa is a key partner for France, given the role it already plays, but also aspires to play on the major issues that impact us all: energy transition, digital technology, sustainable growth. And for all these shared challenges, the private sector must be part of the solution and provide concrete answers to the expectation of our fellow citizens. I am convinced that this morning's discussions will pave the way for new opportunities, new partnerships, and new projects. I am once again honored to announce with you today this South Africa and France Business Forum. May our companies take advantage of this great momentum. Merci pour votre attention. Thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup, Honorable Minister Laurent St. Martin, for those very, very kind words of collaboration, friendship, and growth in both our economies. So I am here now to announce Honorable Minister Alvin Bortus, Deputy Minister of International Relations and Cooperation from South Africa. He's going to be announcing the Deputy Minister. Thank you. The Deputy President.
Merci beaucoup, Programme Director. Monsieur le Vice-président de la République de l'Afrique du Sud, Monsieur Sipokasi Police Mashatile, Madame Mashatile, Monsieur Laurent St. Martin, le ministre de l'Afrique, le ministre de l'Afrique du Sud, Madame et Monsieur, les ambassadeurs, Monsieur Mtetwa, et Monsieur Martinon, les capitaines d'industrie, bonjour Madame et Monsieur. At the very outset, I wish to reiterate that South Africa and France are strategic bilateral partners, both within multilateral forums and when we execute our bilateral relationship through the Forum for Political Dialogue. Those areas, ladies and gentlemen, of bilateral cooperation encompass many areas of mutual interest at both national, regional, and multilateral levels. Both France and South Africa are advocating on a consistent basis for the deepening of multilateralism and the advancement of a multipolar world. Our formal diplomatic relations dates back and predate 1994, but evidently our relationship was reset, strengthened and normalized after the democratic elections in April 1994. Today, and for the duration of the visit of Your Excellency, the Deputy President of South Africa, we are here to expand, to strengthen our bilateral relations and also our investment endowments between our two countries. Geopolitical instability, coupled with conflict and wars, have evidently caused further hardship and suffering and have jeopardized and in fact put in danger our collective and common future. We have witnessed increased rising nationalism, enhanced protectivism, and narrow national interests, which has threatened international collaboration, global economic growth, and innovation. The climate change crisis is also an existential crisis. Ladies and gentlemen, we are all conscious of the fact that the global economic growth remains subdued, and many economies, in particular in Africa, carries the burden of unsustainable debt levels. Across the world, billions of people are affected by underdevelopment, inequality, poverty, and unemployment. It is thus more imperative for South Africa and France to commit today to greater collaboration and the strengthening of our bilateral file. We has accepted the responsibility of the presidency of the G20 at a time when the world is facing severe and relentless challenges that are testing global humanity and solidarity of common purpose amongst the UN member states. It is significant, ladies and gentlemen, that the G20 Leadership Summit will convene for the very first time in November 2025 on African soil. This highlights the growing importance of the African continent in global economic, political, and environmental discussions, and it presents a unique opportunity to deepen greater collaboration amongst African states and the rest of the world. It is therefore our intention to work together with like-minded countries and progressive forces to establish a more equitable, representative, and fit for purpose international order. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our view that working together, we can unlock immense potential and share greater prosperities between our two nations. I am confident that this gathering will serve as a catalyst for the further deepening of collaboration and the opening up of new horizons for our bilateral relationships. South Africa, ladies and gentlemen, is open for business. L'Africa du Sud est ouverte aux affaires. Distinguished guests, at this moment, votre Excellency Monsieur le Vice-Président de l'Afrique du Sud, je vous invite à prendre la parole. I invite Excellency, the Deputy President of South Africa, Honorable Paul Mashatile, to address us. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You may be seated. Program directors, Ms. Patricia Kumalo and Sonia DeBray, Ambassador Nati Mtetwa and Mrs. Mtetwa, Ambassador of France to South Africa, His Excellency Mr. David Martino, Ministers Barbara Creasy, Patricia DeLille, Gaten McKenzie, Stella Ndabeni. I was told that Minister Mtswaledi is going to be here, but I don't see him. Maybe he's still on the way. Deputy Ministers Godlimpi, Manamela, Graham Mare, and Buotes, who introduced me. Mr. Laurent Saint-Martin, Minister Delegate for Foreign Trade of France, representatives from the French government, business leaders from South Africa and France here present, our panelists for today, senior government officials from South Africa, and those from our presidency. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Dumelang, Sanbonani, bonjour. I'm here with my delegation, which include ministers and deputy ministers and senior government officials from both the public sector and state-owned enterprises, as well as business leaders, to strengthen bilateral relations, trade, and investment partnership that exists between South Africa and France. It is fitting that we convened at this conference under the theme Advancing South Africa-France Economic Relations, which is significant for enhancing trade, promoting investments, and encouraging collaboration. It also fortifies the historic relationship between our two nations and reaffirms our collective commitment to global matters such as multilateralism, mutual prosperity, and sustainable development. This conference serves as a platform to build on this foundation, exploring new opportunities and expanding investments, trade, and cooperation that will benefit our people and economies. Ladies and gentlemen, we believe that cooperation and global integration are crucial for economic, social, and political progress. We understand that by enhancing integration and collaboration with countries like France, we can promote inclusive economic growth. Our partnership in trade and investment has already created jobs and boosted economic growth. It has been a cornerstone of our economic development, and today we have the opportunity to explore new avenues for collaboration, investment, and growth. This will ensure that we create more jobs, or job opportunities rather, for millions of unemployed people in our country. As the world pivots to greater forms of energy, South Africa is undertaking one of the most ambitious energy transitions on the continent. With our abundant solar and wind resources, and supported by the $8.5 billion Just Energy Transition Partnership, we are creating space for strategic investments in renewable energy infrastructure, green hydrogen, battery energy storage, and also skills development. French companies such as Engie and Total Energies have already demonstrated their commitment through active participation in the South Africa's Renewable Energy Independent Power Producer Procurement Program, Risk Mitigation IPP Procurement Program, and also Emerging Battery Energy Storage System. We encourage further investments and deeper collaboration in these vital projects. Another important area for collaboration is on critical minerals, including rare earth elements, lithium, vanadium, and cobalt. These minerals are abundant in South Africa, And through beneficiation and ethical extraction, we hope to move up the value chain. In this regard, we are looking to our international partners, including France, to bring advanced technologies, innovation, and sustainable practices in this space. Healthcare is another pressing priority. The COVID-19 pandemic revealed deep global inequities in access to vaccines and essential medicines. South Africa, through the mRNA Technology Transfer Hub and local pharmaceutical leadership, is working towards a continental self-reliance in vaccine production. We welcome partnerships with French companies like Sanofi to scale local manufacturing capacity, support technology transfer, and invest in regional health resilience. We would like to build on existing partnerships, such as the ongoing collaboration between Sanofi and BioVac for the production of Hexasim vaccine, and the new tech transfer partnership for African vaccine manufacturing accelerator approved by the Gavi board. Equally, what is promising is, in our country, the hemp and cannabis economy. South Africa is developing a regulatory framework that encourages investments, research, and commercialization in this sector, which has the potential to spur industrial innovation, vitalize rural economies, and create thousands of jobs. I stress here rural economies because that's exactly where you find hemp. They used to use it for other things, but now we found the real commercial value for it. Program directors, we believe that French expertise in agri-tech and pharmaceuticals can play a significant role in this regard. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank French companies for their ongoing investments and commitment to the South African economy and the African region. Since the first South African Investment Conference hosted in 2018, French companies have committed more than 70 billion rand, with the majority of these projects either completed or are currently being implemented. Announcements included investment in renewable energy generation capacity by the likes of ENGIE, as I said earlier, EDF, Total Energies, as well as investments in manufacturing, retail, agribusiness, and other services sectors. On the trade side, we need to extend our trade basket, and South Africa will be a partner for high value-added products. To this end, we have a list of the top 100 products that we would like to introduce to the French market through inward buying, missions, exhibitions, and sourcing. Ladies and gentlemen, South Africa remains a competitive business and investment hub despite global economic challenges. Our goal is to unlock significant opportunities across sectors, promoting sustainable economic growth and inclusive development whilst maximizing trade and investment opportunities. We are committed to policy certainty, regulatory reform, and facilitating the ease of doing business through our one-stop shop platform. We are working across government and with the private sector to resolve bottlenecks and accelerate high-impact investments. Ministers, deputy ministers, DGs, let's cut the red tape. We have curated an investment project book of 40 billion US dollars of private and public sector projects that are ready for investments. I'm hoping, Deputy Minister Godlimpe, that you have distributed the booklet. It's online, so you can download it and see the projects. I urge you, ladies and gentlemen, to have discussion with Deputy Minister Godlimpe and the DTIC team to explore these investment opportunities. All our ministers and deputy ministers here present are also ready to engage you on opportunities in their sectors. As we attract more investment and increase trade in various sectors, it is crucial that we also possess the necessary skills to match the investments that we are attracting. We appreciate French partnership in skills and internship and are eager to see more of these initiatives. In South Africa, we have introduced the National Skills Development Plan 2030 to ensure that a skilled workforce with the right competencies for economic growth and social development is in place. With the increasing importance of digital technologies, South Africa is focused on developing digital skills, artificial intelligence, data science, and cyber security. South Africa has launched the roadmap for digital transformation of government, a plan to modernize government services through investment in digital public infrastructure. The goal is to integrate government services and establish a national digital identity system, positioning South Africa among nations leveraging digital public infrastructure for efficiency, security, and accessibility. Furthermore, the South African government is committing to a long-term infrastructure investment program involving the private sector, labor, civil society participation as well. Government plans to spend over the next 3 years 940 billion rands in infrastructure investments. It's close to 1 trillion rands. South Africa, strategically placed at the tip of the African continent, is an important investment destination, both for the market prospects inside its boundaries, but also as a gateway to the rest of the continent, which has a population of around 1 billion people. We wish to collaborate with France by investing in infrastructure like ports, power, water, rail, and manufacturing to promote local value-added trade through the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. South Africa's G20 presidency under the theme Solidarity, Equality and Sustainability aims to boost investments and trade in the country and across the continent. We will focus on fostering inclusive growth through trade, addressing global challenges like climate change and food security, and promoting green industrialization and resilient supply chains. We consider France not only as a friend, but as a strategic partner in achieving our vision of shared growth. On the margins of the G20 summit in November this year, we will host the Presidential Investment Conference, and we look forward to seeing you there. In conclusion, program directors, as we navigate the challenges of the global economy, it is imperative that we continue to build strong partnerships and leverage each other's strengths. Together we can unlock immense potential and create shared prosperity for our nations. I am confident that this gathering will serve as a catalyst for deeper collaboration and open up new horizons for our bilateral relations. I urge all participants to share insights and develop action plans to enhance our economic relations. I have suggested to Deputy Minister Godlimpe that the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition should engage other departments to consider making this investment conference a biannual conference. I hope you will support this. I initially thought an annual conference, and Godlimpe saying to me, maybe biannually. So I said, okay, fine, maybe biannually for now, so that we can do more work before we come and talk again. Thank you for your support, ladies and gentlemen. So by the time we come back to the biannual conference, we should be able to say trade between South Africa and France has doubled. That's what we want to say. Thank you to all who made this investment conference such a success. Ladies and gentlemen, we are open for business. Merci beaucoup. Akensa inko.
Merci, Deputy President. What an inspiring address. What an inspiring address. We're very privileged, Deputy President, to have you as our main champion. Thank you, Minister Laurent, for being with us this morning. He's making his way out. Stavros. Okay. Thank you. Deputy President, we were just expressing our appreciation that you are going to be our main champion for trade and investment between France and South Africa. Thank you for taking on that mantle. So to explain to the room now how the program is going to work for the rest of the day, since we have been formally welcomed and also the scene has been set by the Deputy President in terms of expectations and outcomes from this conference, we now have an understanding and our marching orders. So for today, we are mostly going to be in plenary in this room, and most of you would have seen the program with the thematics that we will be having sessions regarding those thematics with panels up here on the stage. During the course of